So something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and something that has been going around everywhere, is the such and such a Choose My TBR. Whether that be a booktuber or a social media platform or what have you, such and such a chooses my TBR. It's everywhere. Everyone's doing it, and I wanted to do it too. So today, my good friend Jen from The Book Refuge, who I love so much, is choosing my TBR. I already know what the books are, but I'm gonna let Jen tell you. Take it away, Jen.
Hi, my name is Jen and I'm from The Book Refuge, and I just quickly wanted to explain the books that I picked for Jo to read for this whatever she's calling it, Choose My TBR, booktuber Choose My TBR. But I'm one of Jo's bestest internet friends, and honestly real life friend too. So there have been some books that in recent times and previous years I've really wanted Jo to get to, but you know, just due to the timing being bad or, you know, her trying to graduate college, things get pushed. So let's go through those real quickly here for you guys. One that I have a really good feeling for, maybe more so than any of these others, is A Hunger Like No Other by Kresley Cole. This is the first book in the Immortals After Dark series, which maybe you know, maybe you don't, but in my opinion, it is one of the most prolific and long-running paranormal romance series. There are Lycae, which are like werewolves, there are vampires, there are demons and Valkyrie and phantom, like there is everything mystical, magical, there's mythology involved. And the element that I particularly think Jo will like is when you're talking about these kind of paranormal series that run for many, many years, in some cases start like back in the 90s and then are still going today, there is a certain level of campiness, of bonkersness, of how the hell can these people work outness that I think Jo will like a lot. And one of the things with Kresley Cole is she has a way of having her characters' needs be so diametrically opposed. Like, you're like, there's no way that this is gonna work out, but guess what? They're fated mates, so it's gonna work out somehow.
Hi. I did start A Hunger Like No Other yesterday evening by Kresley Cole, and I'm already this far into it. Like, I only have this much left. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed with this. I feel like the relationship between Lachlan and Emmeline is everything that I wanted from Lifeblood by Amara Ray. That kind of possessive, kind of almost domineering hero who doesn't really take no for an answer, but is willing to partially bend a little bit for the heroine, and a heroine who is just in all ways good. That is the dynamic that was in Lifeblood, but it didn't work for me in that book because I felt like the hero was he was too much for me. But this one, Lachlan is just the right amount. He is just the right amount. And in this situation, the you're mine kind of aspect that normally irritates me, and I think maybe it's just contemporary, I don't know. The you're mine aspect in this book doesn't get on my nerves as much. Let me tell you what this book is about. You probably already know if you read fantasy romance, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So Lachlan is the head of the Lycae clan. Is that how it's called? And he has been captured and tortured, burned alive over and over and over again by vampires for the past 150 years, 200 years, 150 years. I think it's 150. Anyways, one day he is literally like tied up, being burned alive, and he smells his mate. He gets free. He goes and hunts down this woman who is his mate, only to find out that she is a vampire. She is the enemy. And so he takes her for himself, and he kind of has this really difficult conflict in his brain about his mate that he's waited 1,000 years for being of the species that captured and tortured him, also of the species that he spent his entire life battling against and killing because he hates them so much, like they are the enemy. And so our heroine, Emmeline, is a half vampire, half Valkyrie woman who has been raised by her Valkyrie aunts because her parents are dead. At the beginning of the story, she is in Paris because she's trying to figure out where she came from, who her parents are. How did that relationship between a vampire father and a Valkyrie woman happen? Why is she here? How does she exist, you know? That being said, I am obsessed. I am obsessed with these two. I am just loving this so much. I'm on page 252. I'm definitely going to finish this today because it's one of those books that I haven't had in so long where I just want to sit down and keep reading. And when I can't read it, I want to be reading it. You know, I'm constantly thinking about it. I'm like, what is going to happen? Jen, woman, this was the one for me. I am obsessed with this, Jen. Thank you, my friend. These two should not be together, but they work so well together. There's a huge will they, won't they aspect. I mean, I'm 252 pages in and nary a schmitty scene has been done. I mean, there have been like some cock tease moments, but I'm pretty sure it's coming close. And he's Scottish. Ah! Don't even talk to me. I'm having a whole breakdown. I love this book so much. It's bomb.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, it's been like an hour and a half since I've talked to you, and I finished it. I finished it. This is one of those books where every emotion that the characters are feeling, I'm also feeling. So the last 50 pages of this was very anxiety. But one thing that got on my nerves is her aunts think, like, they just treat her like such a delicate little flower, and they don't believe that she's grown or that she can grow to be something else. They just treat her like a delicate little flower, and I didn't like that, but I still gave it 5 stars. She's 5 stars. It was so good. This is like Stay a Spell, which Stay a Spell, the reason I say that is because the Valkyries in this are like sisters, and they also live in New Orleans. Stay a Spell meets Lifeblood by Amara Ray, mixed in with some Black Dagger Brotherhood. It was so good. I absolutely loved it. 5 stars. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jen, for picking this out for me.
Then I think this is a book that I have been wanting Joe to read for quite a while now. This was, at least in my first 5 romances that I had read, and it just moved me quite a bit, and it's when I first really started to get excited by it. Like I said, I read a couple and they were fine, you know, but there was nothing that had me obsessing over a same-sex couple the same way I would over an MF couple until I read, of course, about these two. And I just adore these childhood friends to estranged to lovers. And I feel like it's a great intro to romance for a newbie. You know, it kind of walks you through anything you might need to know and just helps you have a great time with it.
I think the only other male-male romance that I've ever read was Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I liked. So we'll see how I feel about this one. I like hockey. We're gonna give it a go. Hopefully I love it. We'll see. Do I spend all of my time out here in this damn hammock chair? Yes, I do. I'm halfway through him. Halfway through? Yeah, about halfway through. I'm on page 146. And I'm really enjoying it. In this, we're following our 2 male main characters, Jamie and Wes. When they were kids and teenagers, they were really close. They went to this hockey camp together. And then on the last night of their final year at hockey camp at 18 years old, they fool around. And Wes feels like he took advantage of Jamie in a way because he is kind of questioning his sexuality and he knows that Jamie was not, so he feels like he took advantage of him. And so instead of confronting him and talking to him about that, he just kind of ghosts him. And so Jamie has spent the last 4 years wondering why his best friend no longer talks to him, and Wes has spent the last 4 years with shame for what he believes that he did. Where this book starts is we are following these two as they're going to the National College Hockey Championships, and both of their teams are in this championship. Wes sees Jamie for the first time again and kind of picks up this kind of thing that they used to do where they used to send a cigar box back and forth with funny presents, and so he buys him these like cat-covered boxer shorts because Jamie's team is the Lions or the Tigers. I can't remember. I think it's the Tigers? Lions? Fuck if I know. And so it kind of starts their journey of getting back reconnected. So where I'm at in the story right now, Wes and Jamie are coaching at the old hockey camp that they used to go to as children, and it's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. Wes is a very spunky character. He's very wild and crazy and makes impulsive decisions, and he just seems so fun to be around, genuinely fun to be around. And Jamie says that he's kind of like magnetic. He draws people to him, and I really see that. Jamie is really sweet. He's really nice. I like him a lot. Jamie is just this sweet and nice guy who's got this huge family, and he's got this kind of on-again, off-again, friends with benefits type of situation with this girl named Holly at the beginning of the book, but obviously he's starting to question some things about himself. So we've got Jamie exploring, shall we say, exploring. And it's really good so far. I like them together, and I can definitely see their chemistry. Also, their banter is really good. They have been friends for so long, or they were friends for so long, that they kind of joke around with each other and, you know, pull each other's legs, and they're just very funny together. But obviously there's some romance building. But obviously there is some romance that is building that is causing Jamie to kind of question his sexuality, which I really am enjoying that plot point. I think it's very interesting. So we're having a good time. We're really liking it. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the second half. So I will check in with you guys when I finish it. Well, I'm crying. I'm a crier. I've said it so many different times in my videos, but I'm a crier. But I finished it, and it was so good. The reason I'm crying is because, I'm not gonna like spoil anything, but Wes has such a shitty family. His family is so like cold and distant, and Jamie has such like a Weasley-like family, and they're just so big and boisterous and sweet, and I love them so much. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna go with 4 stars for this one. 4 stars. Yeah, that feels good. It was really good. And I had never read anything by Serena Bowen or Elle Kennedy, I don't think. Maybe I have, and I don't remember, but I don't think I have. But it was so good. It was so good and so sweet and so lovely. Obviously, Jamie has been straight his whole life, so there's this like questioning of sexuality and what that means, and also tackling, you know, the nasty people of the world, which was really difficult, but oh my god, it was so good. I love Wes and Jamie. I love them so much.
I have a recent read. This was actually one of 2 favorite reads for the month of May, and I know Jo is already interested in it because she is dipping her toe into historical romance. And the one I wanted to recommend was Forever Your Rogue by Erin Langston. This is a debut historical romance author. This is a single mother, a widowed mother, who is about to go to war to keep her children with her, her very little children. And when she needs to hook in a rogue to help her, she feels like she's almost doomed at the task. But Nate, though he may be a scoundrel, he has a beautiful heart, and as soon as he meets these children, he knows that he has to do whatever he can to help. So that's all that I'll say about this couple.
Okay, but do these two not look like Kate Winslet and Ryan Gosling? Because that is who I'm going to be picturing this whole time I'm reading this book, because that's who they look like, Kate Winslet and Ryan Gosling. Don't tell me you don't think so, because I won't believe you. Hello, my friends. Let's chat. I am on page 241 of Forever Your Rogue, so about halfway, a little over halfway. I couldn't help myself. I was trying to stop right at the halfway point, but I got a little carried away at work. So let me tell you what this story's about. So in this, we are following Cora, whose husband, Lord Dane, has recently passed away. There's no love lost between the two. Their marriage was an arranged marriage, and it didn't really lead to love how Cora would have wanted, but it did produce 2 beautiful children, Tess and Leo. So at the beginning of this, Cora is coming across a little bit of an issue because Lord Dane's sister and her husband, the Carltons, have pretty much insinuated that because Cora is a single woman, she is not really fit to be the main guardian of these children. So they technically have as much right to the children as Cora does, but Cora obviously wants to keep her children with her because they're pretty much the only good thing that has come out of this terrible relationship that she had with Lord Dane, enter in our hero, Nathaniel Travers. Nathaniel is kind of like a roguish figure. He has a gambling problem, he has a drinking problem, and at the beginning of this, his brother is pretty much done with his shenanigans and says, get your shit together or you're going to be cut off, pretty much. Cora's brother Gavin, who practices law, devises this kind of plan to have Cora get fake engaged to Nate Travers as this kind of mutually beneficial agreement. The first 150 pages, I was not 100% invested in these characters, and I feel like that's because Cora is distancing herself from Nate and his roguishly handsome and charming ways. She's kind of trying to keep a little bit of a distance between them because their relationship at the beginning is very contractual. They sign a contract pretty much stating when they're going to do this ruse, how much she's going to be paying him to do this ruse, that type of situation. But at the 240 page mark, I'm feeling a lot better about the book overall, and I'm really enjoying my time. Okay, so I got a new tripod, and this is her maiden voyage, so hopefully she's looking good. Her name's Vanellope. Thank you for asking. Yes, from Wreck-It Ralph. Vanellope. I finished Forever Your Rogue, and I'm feeling a tad bit kerfuffled by this book. The Boulder is confused. There's some parts of this book that I really, really loved, and then some parts that I was just kind of bored and skimming through, and then also some parts where I was just really exasperated by our characters. Cora in this, I'm not sure if I said this in the previous clip, but she's a very uptight heroine. She has, you know, a reason to be, but it gets to the point where it just kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. She kind of put her own foot in her mouth multiple times, and I was just like, girl, calm it down, girl. Just have a conversation. Nate, I loved Nate. I loved the way he interacted with Cora and her children. I love the way that he interacted with other people. I think he's a great hero. Cora, there's just something about Cora that didn't 100% connect with me. The sun is shining for the first time in a week. Ah, what a wonderful day. Yesterday, I was a little bit scatterbrained about Forever Your Rogue, but I have taken the day to kind of gather my thoughts and give them to you. So proceed with the word vomit, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Okay, anyway, the things that I enjoyed about this book, I loved Nate as our hero. I loved his interactions with the kids. I loved his interactions with his family. I did also love his family as well. I loved the conflict with the Carltons. However, I think that this book is entirely too long. Towards the middle, I really got bogged down in Cora's inner monologue about how she's worried about the situation. She's a very paranoid character, and she's constantly worrying and thinking, and she's just comes across really uptight when she is conversing with Nate and trying to pull the wool over the Carltons' eyes. But her inner monologue is like this repeated worry, and I feel like if 100 pages of Cora worrying would have been cut from this book, I would have really enjoyed it. I also felt like towards the middle, it was just, we were kind of just going round and around in circles and we weren't really getting anywhere. So I feel like the pacing was a little bit off in that aspect. So I kind of got bored in the middle to like around the 3/4 area. And then at the end, it felt like everything was happening really, really fast again. And I don't know, the pacing was just really off for me. That being said, the things that I did enjoy them a lot. So it's a 3-star for me. It's a middle of the road. My enjoyment of this book may have been affected by my mood yesterday and the day before because the sun was not out. The sun is now out. I love it. I'm looking out my window. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. So I would be interested to reread this at some point in the future. But as it stands right now, my feelings are I loved Nate and his interactions with the children. I loved the conflict. I just felt like the pacing was off and the book was entirely too long.
Then we have one that I feel almost bad for choosing because I think the angst is gonna hurt. The thing about this author and the story she tells, and in a way, all romance authors, but I think she does it particularly well, is that no matter how dark or painful or dire looking our situation seems, we're gonna get one of the most triumphant HEAs ever. And that is Kennedy Ryan. And I picked Real because it is currently like a standalone for her. There are more coming, so it's not a standalone, but there aren't anything that's left hanging. This isn't one of her like multiple couple books. And it also, like I said, it's all contained within this story. This book takes place in present time when we have an actress and a director who are coming together to work on a project, but it's also told through the script, which we have at different points. Kennedy Ryan's books are such an immersive experience. And like I said, you're gonna suffer, but you'll be happy about it by the end because it makes the HEA the most beautiful thing in the world.
I'm only 100 pages, 134 pages into Real, and I'm already tearing up. This is why I was nervous about Kennedy Ryan. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Okay, so it's 90 degrees outside, so the AC is staying on. I may be currently reading a new favorite of the year. I'm not sure if it's going to be the favorite of the year, but it is definitely up there. Let's get her out, shall we? What the fuck? Okay, I was expecting to like Kennedy Ryan stuff. I was not expecting to love it this much. So in this, we are following our main hero named Cannon. He is a director. He predominantly directs documentaries.
Go away. Girl, I just said I was filming a vlog clip.
That woman don't listen.
That woman don't read her messages.
That woman does not pay attention. Anyway, so in this we are following our hero Cannon, and he is preparing to make a movie about this woman named Desi Blue, who was a really talented jazz musician during the Harlem Renaissance, and Desi has pretty much been lost in history, and I love the Harlem Renaissance. I learned about it in college. It is such a vibrant and lively time in history. Anyway, Desi. He wants to make a movie about her to kind of bring her story to light. So for the past 6 months, he's been searching for his perfect Desi Blue. And one night, his friend invites him to this Broadway show. The moment that Neva steps on stage, he is like, I have found my Desi Blue. So Neva is a woman who left her home in North Carolina at the age of 18 to go to college in New Jersey because of some shenanigans that happened in the prologue. It's bullshit. So pissed. So pissy. And so obviously she is making her Broadway debut because she has been an understudy and the girl that she is filling in for is on a vacation. Anyways, so she gets the opportunity of a lifetime to star in her first movie. And Cannon is like this hotshot, amazing director that everybody knows and everybody loves. And obviously there's tension. The first half of this book made me feel how I felt when I read Taylor Jenkins Reid for the first time. The kind of, these people are real life. They're not characters in a book. A lot of the books that I read, I feel like I'm watching a movie, and I really love that. But there's some special books that make me feel like these characters are real people and I'm friends with them and we're all a happy little cabal. The first half of this book made me feel like that, and I have been longing for that feeling for a very long time. And I love these two. I love Neva, I love Cannon, I love the rest of the people in Cannon's little inner circle that are working on this project. I love Neva and her friends and her struggles. Neva also has lupus, so we get great representation there. I don't know if it's great representation, but we get representation. I don't personally have lupus. I cannot speak for this, but Neva does have lupus. I don't know. There's so much tension and so much amazing things that are happening. And we also get little snippets of the screenplay, which is really, really interesting. Like I said, it's set in the Harlem Renaissance, so you get to see little snippets of that time period, and it's so incredible and also really difficult to read. It highlights little snippets of the African American experience that I will never ever experience for myself, and it's so powerful and so difficult to read. It's just so good. Like I said, the first half feels like a literary fiction almost, but where I'm at right now, I'm on page 252, so a tiny bit over halfway, but where I'm at right now, things are starting to heat up between Neva and Cannon. This is definitely a slow burn, and it's focusing more on their relationships and also the making of this film and the importance of this film and just all of these different things, and it's so good.
It is so good. And I'm so afraid of what's gonna happen. I mean, we have like, I don't know, 200 pages left, and I have a feeling things are going to go downhill, and I'm gonna be upset, but then they're gonna go back uphill, and I'm gonna be happy again. These people are real people, and they are my friends. I cannot believe this movie about Desi Blue is not real. I can't believe that Desi Blue isn't real. At least I don't think she is. I looked her up, and I didn't find any information, so I'm assuming that she's fictional, and I can't do any research about either of these people, and I'm so upset, and I can't watch the Desi Blue movie. It's a first world problem. Okay. Okay. It's so good. And my heart is so full right now. And I'm so happy that I picked this up. Jen, you know what you're talking about. I never doubted you that you knew what you were talking about, but you definitely know what you're talking about. Definitely one of my favorite books of the year, but possibly my favorite. Like the number one. We shall see. I'm not done with it yet. Mama's having a fit on the floor. I've got 30 pages. Oh my God. I think there's a stain on my shirt. Oh. No, we're gonna have to change. That's unfortunate. So we have come to the end of this vlog because I finished Real by Kennedy Ryan. This book was incredible. It was so incredible. I loved every single second of it. Desi Blue is truly the heart of this story. As she experiences love for the first time, she goes on an adventure, she creates amazing music, she falls in love for the second time, gets married, has kids, and ultimately ends up back in her hometown where she is seemingly forgotten throughout history. And Cannon, through his directorial skills, has given Desi a new voice. And Neva, as our Desi, is the mouthpiece from which Desi's voice just explodes. This book is so steeped in the Harlem Renaissance that it just bleeds out of the page. And this book is one of those special books where I feel like I could literally pluck these people out of the page. They are so well written and so well rounded and beautiful and just literally human beings. They are so amazingly written. I just feel like this is one of those books that will really stick with me for a long period of time, and I gave it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stars. It is one of my favorite books of the year. I just absolutely love this book, and I'm so excited to read more from Kennedy Ryan. I know I was scared of this woman. It is an absolute favorite of the year, and I am so excited to read more from Kennedy Ryan. So these are all of the books that I read in this vlog. Thank you so much to Jen for recommending these to me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.
There you go, Joe. I hope you have a great time. I really look forward to you making your way through these. And yeah, I can't wait to see how it goes. Bye.